Hey Tad,
Yes, Alex.
let me tell you about how much I fucking hate loot boxes.
Now,
S
loot boxes. You're talking about them. Talking about those good old TF2 crates. You open them up, you get your unusuals. Those kind of loot boxes, Alex.
well, more or less, yes. Team Fortress 2 does have loot boxes, the old style loot boxes. But I'm more of talking about all the shit that's been going on a lot this year, which was two in particular, Star Wars Battlefront 2 controversy and Shadows of War. So before I dive right into that, though, I want to get a little introduction on the whole loot box system for the people who are blessed to not have too much information about this already.
Yeah, the people that aren't hashtag us gamers.
Yeah, so a loot box is more or less gambling. You get a box or a card pack, whatever the fuck kind of game you're playing. You give them say $2. It shakes a bunch, and you get like say five random items of varying quality. And you hope to Christ you get the one you want. And if you don't, well, you spend more money. And that's just the basic like gist of it. And you might be thinking that sounds pretty stupid. They really shouldn't put that in a lot of games. Well, they do. So I really, 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 really hate loot boxes. I hated crates back in the day. Ted, you're my witness. I didn't like them back then, and I sure as hell don't like them now.
Well, that's because you were an idiot with the TF2 economy. Hey, Alex, let me hold on to your Sam and Max items. I really like this game. No, I'm going to trade them away for a fucking soldier hat because, ooh, Max's head is ugly. Ooh, my name's Alex. I'm stupid.
It's true. It's true. I literally never thought that ugly hat for $20 would turn into like $60. It doesn't make any sense to me.
$60. What a fool.
Well, it's like 60 now.
Yeah, after the great TF2 economy crash.
Anyway, I've been doing research for loot boxes because it turns out a lot of people are like getting finally sick of it like now, and a lot of people are coming out to speak out. Two people who I know are like big name people, Jimquisition and Total Bisquick. Those two guys came out. I gave them the fucking joke name. Whatever, we're going with it. Those two guys have come out recently, and I've just been talking about loot boxes and how shit they are, and how we really should like speak out against it. And gamers finally are, us gamers finally are for Battlefront 2, and hopefully that'll fix some shit. But while doing my research, I've discovered the long, long history of loot boxes and how it's actually a little further back than Team Fortress 2. So, the very first loot box styled video game comes
Can I
from.
take a guess? Can I take a guess at its name? Because you told me it before, but I forgot what it was.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
All right, so I know it's a Korean game. I think.
No.
Is it? Fuck. Does it have Gachapon in the name? What's a
No.
Gachapon? We'll probably get to those.
I'll get to those down my list here. Don't worry. I want to talk about the history first.
Okay. I got it. Is it Cherry Blossom something?
No, you are so far off it hurts me. I am literally shaking right now. Fucking.
Okay, what's this fucking game, Alex?
It is a Chinese free-to-play game called ZT Online, created in
That was
2007.
basically right.
No, you weren't. Korea is not China. So anyway, that is the very first game to ever have them. The first
What were their
Western
loot
game.
boxes like? What were they? Were they TF2 style? Were
I
they just
couldn't
open?
find much info on ZT Online because I think that game might suck. So I'm going to assume that they were a little more nice because the whole rules of loot boxes weren't really established yet. But that's just my assumption. If some other ZT Online hardcore fanatic out there could help me out with that, go ahead. But
You just couldn't find you couldn't find videos on YouTube of unboxes and shit.
Well, probably no. I didn't even try that because I don't think that even existed. I just went to look up like the game info and I couldn't really find anything specifically to the loot boxes because like it was a game before it was a loot box simulator. It's not like Battlefront 2 where you can't play the game without the loot boxes. I'm 90% certain the loot boxes in like ZT Online, considering they were the first, couldn't have been that bad, but that's from the limited information I even like looked up. So what I wanted to get into was where it really began. 2010 update for Team Fortress 2. That was the first Western game to introduce loot boxes. And this is the one that I kind of more or less blame for everything. Because Team Fortress 2 was, way bigger than some shit called ZT Online, everyone knows about crates and keys and shit. Everyone was in on that shit. And right after, actually, of Team Fortress 2, two more games got loot boxes: Star Trek Online and Lord of the Rings Online.
Really?
Yeah, those two added loot boxes to them too. That one I just straight up didn't look up because I didn't care. I was just kind of looking up what came up, so didn't even try. Unlike ZT Online. Now, this one everyone's gonna know. The first non-online game with loot box, the first single-player game, technically single-player, was Mass Effect 3 of March 2012. Now, technically speaking, the loot boxes were for its multiplayer.
But you don't play Mass Effect for its multiplayer. You play it for the single player experience.
Yeah, it's a single player game first, but it was you could see the wheels kind of like turning right here. CS:GO had them in 2013. Battlefield 4 got them in a 2014 update, and apparently, from the information I found, no duplicates in these boxes. So you always
for
see something
CS:GO
new.
and Battlefield.
No, for Battlefield 4. Now CS:GO. Who the fuck gives a shit about CS:GO?
I think that's the case in CS:GO though. I think you don't get any overlaps like Dota. If you buy 10 of the crates, you're guaranteed to get some of the rare ones, right?
You can get well, in the old system, back when you get like pieces and shit, you didn't get dupes, and you did get dupes in Dota, but like now with the whole new system, you don't. That's why you can like say like there's 5 sets. If you buy 5 crates, you're gonna get every set once. You dig?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
You only get dupes if you buy after that. But I would assume that's how Battlefield 4 uses them. All I read was just no duplicates, and that sounds pretty nice. That's the lesser of the evil ways to handle loot boxes. Now, loot boxes are a huge success. They're gigantic. They're big. They're probably not going to go away.
They're so big that it's the reason why TF2 just got an update too. A month ago. Loot boxes. It started when Valve did it. That started the entire fucking TF2 man economy, and with that man economy, you started having people. Oh, I can buy keys to open crates. Crates are dumb. I'm just gonna. It makes an economy. I think actually, out of all the current systems, I think TF2 is the only one that has the key. And even now, modern TF2, they've abandoned the key. Now to open up a box, you buy a key specifically for that box, like how you do with Overwatch and how you do with all these other games. You don't have any kind of aftermarket. TF2 is the only one that really does. And then they took that and they put it into Dota and they put it into CSGO.
Well, in Dota, you just buy the box. And honestly,
Dota, you just buy the box.
They just cut out the whole key middleman bullshit and just say, okay, you want it, just buy it. Fuck it.
That's because TF2 had multiple series of crates because they were first. I guess they were still playing around with it.
Yeah, it was a testing ground.
It is the main way. It's the only reason TF2 is still getting updates because they made so much fucking money off keys. Oh my! And then the marketplace. You get 20% because there's 10% Valve normally takes off every purchase, and then there's additional TF2 tax of 10% and Dota tax of 15%. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's how TF2 handled it, where they introduced keys as a currency, and then now keys are basically only currency because you can't find a crate that you open with a normal key anymore. You have to get the event keys to open up the event crates. That's the only way. So no one's actually buying or selling these event keys. They're just opening the boxes straight up.
Now, one of the things I want to talk about, actually, because you're mentioning Team Fortress 2 so much, is out of all of the crate systems, I think Team Fortress 2 does it. I wouldn't say the best, but no, they probably do it the best only because of one thing. Every item you get in Team Fortress 2 has a value because you can trade things with players. So even if you don't get something you want, you can at least make something out of it,
Yeah. What you're doing with TF2 when you open a crate, and we're going back a few years, it's not so much the case now, because now they implemented the Steam market directly what the crates were. Just a little bit ago, I found an old pay card from a job, and I put $10 in TF2, bought some keys, got some shitty hats, sold them right back in the marketplace, and because I was gonna buy it, like I was gonna buy a taunt that someone opened from a box. But I mean, that's what you do. You open up a key, you use your key, and you're like, oh man, I'm gonna open this crate because the items listed on here are strange variants of the sticky bomb launcher, the bottle, the grenade launcher, the Islander, and the charge and charge. I want to get one of those. So you open it up and it's like, oh man, I'm going to get one of these. You know, if I'm real lucky, I'll get an unusual hat. But if I'm not so lucky, I'll still get one of these. And then, oh fuck, I got a shitty ass goddamn bullshit stupid fucking bottle. But you can still trade that for, you know, one refined metal. You know, you still get something of value that's not fucking pennies, you know?
And what I was going to bring up is I hear a lot of comparisons when it comes to arguing for loot boxes and defending them. It's no different than opening card packs of, like, say, Yu-Gi-Oh cards or Magic cards or some shit. And it is. Because, say, in Overwatch, when I open up a loot box and get my cosmetic-only items, say I get this Reinhardt skin, that one where he's, like, covered in green moss and shit, Baldurwike, or whatever the heck it's called, right?
Baldric, yeah.
Baldric, that's it, Baldric. Say I get Baldric, and I didn't want Baldric. I'm stuck with it. I can't give it to someone else. Like, I can't say, like, oh, hey, go give me your Halloween Reaper skin for it. Gee, thanks, buddy. You know, like, I can't do that. I'm stuck with this. I only lost
Alex,
with that.
You're not stuck with it. You know what you can do? You can buy some more boxes.
Of course.
Maybe you'll get lucky this time.
And, like, with the single-player game like Shadows of War, one, it's a stupid idea because the entire point of the game is to fight these orcs and make them your nemesis, not just undermine the entire purpose of the game and just buy your way instead of playing it.
Now,
a single-player fucking game.
So, I actually did some further research on Shadow of War specifically because I was hearing all these people talking about how the true ending of the game is locked behind these boxes. I'm like, this seems fucking insane. So there's two games I've played recently, two single-player games that have had loot boxes in them. So Shadow of War, how their loot boxes work is you go through the main game and you find orcs. You get the boxes for free. Quote unquote free, you know, you spend in-game currency that it throws at you.
Yeah,
you have challenges you do to get gold, and then use that gold to buy the fancy boxes that have fancier orcs and shit. But playing the game, not like an idiot, gives you enough orcs to be 100% perfectly fine. There's no reason anyone of decent skill would need. It's kind of like
except for
the game
the
gives you too
game.
much. It's like what was that game with Uncle Death? It's on PS4.
But Tad, are you trying to defend the loot boxes in a single-player only game?
Yeah, let me explain. So, okay, but first, what the fuck was that game that Uncle Death was in?
Let It Die.
Okay, Let It Die. Did you ever feel forced to buy money in that game? No, because it was too fucking easy, because you constantly had shit thrown at you. The only time you would ever need to buy a box is if you were a little bit impatient, if you weren't willing to wait, 2 hours. Or you wanted to play for like 7.5 hours in one session or whatever. But how the loot boxes work at Shadow of Mordor is just like, man, I don't want to actually play this game. Or I was bullshitting all my missions by not leveling up my orcs or doing anything like that. And so when I'm at the end game, I don't want to spend 3 hours playing the game like I should have been. There was a fucking Deus Ex Mankind Divided. That game came out. I don't know why they decided to kill Deus Ex as a franchise again. But that whole fucking game aside, that game had, it was less loot boxes and more just straight up buying experience points and money with real money. Because that's also a thing, which I bet right now if Mankind Divided came out, they would have had the loot box option. But for Shadow of Mordor, it's not as oppressive as it sounds. It's there for people who are shit at video games.
It shouldn't be there at all, Tad.
That's true. It should not fucking be there at all.
Please don't actually try to defend and explain behind that.
I'm just explaining that it's not 100% blocked behind there. It's just an option that's tacked on that looks really fucking tacky. Like, that's not a good idea. Don't put that on there. Kind of like some other games that have had issues.
Video game, though.
Hey, I mean, just fucking put in another quarter there and you'll get 4 extra lives as Donatello in Turtles in Time. Fucking pay to win garbage, if you ask me.
No,
It's a
what
much
it,
less extreme version of that, where arcades were designed
no,
to
because
make
you
you
still have
pump
to
in
play the
quarters.
game, and when you die, you put in a quarter or two, however much it costs. This
Exactly.
game,
The badder you are at the game, the more quarters you got to put in.
well, the difference is that you still have to play the game, and those are just your lives. With a game like Shadows of War, you're paying to literally not play the game and just have orcs come to you. That's
Yeah.
totally different. Now, comparing an arcade game to Let It Die is way more understandable because, well, it is an arcade game where it's like every time you die, you can put 50 more cents in with little skull tokens and get another life. But, like, not Shadows of War. Shadows of War is paying to win in a fucking single player game. It's supposed to be like 30 hours long. It's
Yeah, it's
wrong.
there for people who are dumb and stupid, and they're milking people. They're milking people who are too lazy or don't actually want to play the game, but see, oh, I can just buy my way through. Sure thing, I got $10. Chink 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 chink. You
That's
know,
that's bad, and I hope you don't
it's
actually like
very
it.
bad. I'm not saying,
Okay,
oh yeah,
good.
every single player game should have this. I'm just, the only point I'm saying with this whole thing with Shadow of War is the content of the game is not actually hidden behind these boxes.
All
The
right.
boxes are just there as a really fucking bad idea.
All right, so let's let everyone know that he is a Shadows of War defender. All right, so
Hey, that
moving
game
on.
is fucking cool. Okay.
Moving
Now,
on.
hold on, Alex. Let me
Oh,
hold on.
God damn
Let
it.
me reach over here. I've got my my EA bonus check. Let me file that away.
Did EA even make Shadows of War? I know they made Battlefront too.
I don't think it matters.
Okay. Well, anyway, excuse me, a little burp there. Anyway, my issue is that I think if more games had a market like Team Fortress 2, people would actually be less pissy about it because there'd be ways around it. Like, look at Battlefront 2 right now. The big thing everyone's complaining about is, so someone did the math that if you were to do like all the story mode and do all like the missions and challenges and bonus things, like say get 30 kills with a pistol and like in 5 minutes capture the objective, little bonus challenges like that. If you were to do all of that shit, it would take you 40 hours to unlock Darth Vader, or you could just drop, a few, tens, maybe even a full on $100 and just, buy everything through loot boxes, buddy.
Yeah, what are you, dumb and poor?
On top of a game that can already go from $60 to $80 if you get the collector's edition, you also still need to like pay to get all of this shit randomly. Now, I think unlocking all the heroes is dumb as shit in a loot box system. If you were to like say like after you beat like chapter 3 of the story mode, then you get Han Solo. Yeah, that'd be okay. That's fine. You have to work towards that. But 40 hours for one character, that's a little that's just walling it off so that people buy shit, and that's just being evil. But I think they could have actually gotten away with this clean if they made heroes purely unlockable either through story mode or they're just doing challenges. Like say you do like bonus flying challenge number 3 and 4, you'll get like Boba Fett or some shit, right? You feel me? Kind of like how Team Fortress 2 had achievement weapons. And they had the loot boxes with the cards that gave you stat bonuses and shit. And they allowed players to trade them. That would create a kind of market, but also put a little less shade off of EA because it'd be like, well, you don't have to necessarily like I just mentioned earlier. Even if you open up a loot box and don't get what you want, you still get something that has at least some value, even if it's only like 3 cents.
Now,
Like,
I've been playing a little bit of Gwent, which is the Witcher card game by CD Projekt Red, and they're so they have their quote unquote loot boxes. They have their booster packs. Their booster packs cost, I think it's $2. I think it's $2 a booster pack. And what they are is how they handle it is you get your pack, you get 4 cards, and then your 5th card is split into 3. And so let's say that how it happened for me, I was playing in the open beta. So I got the Geralt card. I got the foil shiny Geralt, which is, oh shit, here we go. He's animated and he slices a monster's head off, and it's really cool. And so I got my booster packs, and I opened up my last one, and it was a Geralt. Now, if I would have just gotten that Geralt, I would have gotten 500 Witcher dust, or whatever the fuck, that I can use. Yeah, Witcher bucks, that I could have used to craft one of these specific cards I was missing. But instead I had the option of that Geralt, Emerith for the monsters, or this elf for the Skolatiel. I got to choose which one, so I went with Emerith. And so then I went through and I'm like, oh man, monsters are really fun. Fuck the Skolatiel, I don't want to play those. So I went through and I destroyed all my Skolatiel cards and crafted all the rest of the monsters that I needed. Also, big shot. I've been waiting. I've been looking for some opportunity to fucking plug this shit because the Gwent game has the best anti-dickhead feature I've ever seen in a video game. So how Gwent works is you have to have the most power on your side of the field at the end of the round. You have to win 2 out of 3 rounds. You don't get to draw a lot of cards. Unless your deck is specifically built around that, but don't worry about that. So let's say I run out of cards and I pass my turn. The opponent has 6 more and he's already won. There's nothing I can do. If he sits there and he keeps playing cards, he keeps sending like the well played. Damn it. Well played. So I lose, shows my screen, it has send GG. So if he wasn't a fucking dickhead, I send that to him and he gets crafting materials or he gets, some money to buy a booster pack. And if he hit GG, I get that. You don't get any benefit for sending a good game. Only the opponent does, which encourages you to not be a fucking douchebag. And it's so good. It's a good-ass feature. Play Gwent. No one's playing it. It's not even out of beta yet, I guess. So it's got that defense. But go play it. It's fun.
Now, can you trade cards in Gwent?
No, I don't know if it's I hope it's a feature they're implementing, but if it's not, that sucks, but at least I can destroy cards I don't want, and they give me some choice with the cards I get.
And see, this is actually something I wanted to cover, because we kept bringing up the card game mentality and how I think that, how I think Team Fortress 2 is better because it gives you something of value, blah, 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 blah. So, a game that is literally the card game mentality, a game like Hearthstone or Gwent or Shadowverse, the big ones that are out right now, despite them being literally card games, you can't trade cards in those games. However, I know a game like Hearthstone kind of circumvents this by giving you a whole value thing. It's like you can craft the dupes of cards you get for dust in order to buy more, right? And it's not nearly as stingy with it as Overwatch was.
Now, for Hearthstone, for the duplicates, there's 3 are the maximum amount you can have per deck in Hearthstone, right?
2.
So is it only ones past 2?
Yes,
because in Gwent, if I have a whole bunch of the Skolatiel, even if I just have one of the card, I can just blow it up. I grab. I took my entire Skolatiel deck and just shredded all those fuckers.
Oh yeah. Like say you have 3. Okay, so you can have 2 of any card. And if you have any over that, the cards will show you that it's like, oh, you have 6 of these. Would you like to burn 4 of them? It'll do it automatically for you. But if you want to burn those last 2, you can do that. But you have to do it manually. They'll never automatically burn like if you have only the 2 left. They'll never do that shit
that's
for
good
you.
then. That's good.
But Overwatch kinda has that system, and it's how they get around the whole gambling law thing because they say like even if you put money in it. And you don't get the skins you want, you can get, these icons, but you can also get duplicates and get currency, which you can then use to buy the skins anyway. Overwatch kind of has it.
You're not going to get duplicates anymore since they updated the drop system.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to cover. Overwatch nerfed the duplicate drop rate thing specifically because they're evil. People will read that and say, oh, I'm going to get more legendaries now. No, you're not. You're going to get more commons than you've never gotten before.
Now, here's the thing. So, outside of an event, yeah, you're going to get every item you need. When Halloween starts, you're just going to get... Okay. So
you're going to get all
If you've
of
been
the
playing,
stuff.
You've maxed out everything. You bought all of your voice lines, all of that. You've been playing Overwatch. God, I don't know why you have been, but you've maxed out all your bullshit. Now when you hit the events, yeah, you're going to be fucking loaded. But if you're Timmy Williams over here, Timmy Williams, and you play the Halloween Scream for... Halloween event for Overwatch, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get the gold ready to get because every single event skin is 3,000 gold. You're not going to have the gold for that, and you everything is mixed together with the newer Halloween shit and all the shit you're still missing with the previous normal stuff. So you're going to get you're going to get some of the common stuff in there. and maybe 6 months from now, you're going to have enough gold to actually buy these new fancy things. But they add so much shit and so much small shit in each one of these events that the chances of you getting a gold, they might be slightly better than they were before, but you're not going to have the gold prepared before. I would go into events in Overwatch with like 8,000 gold. But that's also because I was really lucky and I would get a lot of, I'll get gold sometimes and get 500 coins. You're not going to get that nearly as often. It's real fucked up. I don't like it. I really don't like how Overwatch does their loot box like that.
I didn't mind it before because even if you drop just like $10 on a loot box, you pretty much get like 500 gold right there if you had a lot of items. Because the duplicate rate was really, really high. Because they nerfed that. They didn't nerf it so players can get new stuff. They nerfed it so people will get stop getting so much currency so they can make more money. It maybe just go like, oh wow, so they're even more evil than before. And fun fact, so I think I just mentioned it earlier. Well, I'll mention it again. So China forced Blizzard to release the percentage rates on items of loot boxes. China has very strict gambling laws, and they consider loot boxes gambling, so they have to be upfront with it, so people can't be, like, ooh, I'm gonna get it this time. It takes, on average, 13.4 loot boxes to get one legendary skin in Overwatch.
So that's a little over $10.
The percentage rates were posted, and Blizzard has found a loophole in that gambling thing, and have actually fought against China, and now they no longer have to do that. Why would they do that? Because they're evil, and they want people to be, in mystique. They want to be mysterious with it, so people spend more money on loot boxes, and they do the whole dupe thing right afterwards. Like, they're just being blatant about it, and it just sucks, dude. So
okay, I kind of doubt it's the Overwatch team rubbing their hands together so hard they can start a fire. It's higher ups.
No, it always is. Like, it's always the creepy old men at top who are faceless and no one knows, as I think Jim Inquisition put it.
Or fucking Zaibatsu.
Yeah, it's those evil, greedy old men at top who don't really give a shit about who we are and are just trying to make the most money with whatever they can get away with, So, and just a lot of times those are forced on it, but that's who I'm blaming. Like fuck those guys, and it's really, really bad. And I really want people to speak out about this shit right now, which is why I'm doing this. So, one of the things I wanted to mention is a quote from Take Two Interact. They have two quotes. They have recurrent consuming spending is the way of the future, followed by Take-Two plans to only release games with recurrent consumer spending hooks. Basically,
they even call it hooks.
Yeah. Which is what I want. Which is now what I'm going to lead into this. I really, 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 really think we should just all be upfront and consider loot boxes gambling, because that's what they are. Even if they have the bullshit loophole of, hey, even if you don't get what you want, you still get something in return. Even my own argument for Team Fortress 2 still has some negatives to it, because they all hit you in the brain the exact same way like a slot machine would. You see a slot machine, you're like, I'll put $10. I don't know how fucking much a slot machine costs. I'll put $10 in here. Maybe I'll get something. The fucking flashing lights. The fucking music starts jamming out. You fucking get the 3 things in a row. It's just like, you did it, buddy. Yeah. Start finger gunning at you real fucking
now here's
fast.
the difference between these boxes and a slot machine. I don't do slots because I've never won one. Because here's what happens when I open a TF2 box. Oh, okay, whatever. I got a shitty war paint. I'll try again later. I'll sell this war paint for 18 cents and try again later.
Yeah, and that's
when you pull on a slot machine, it's like, okay, you won a thing, or you're like, nah, fuck off.
Well, yeah, you won nothing. That's what gambling is legally considered. You spending money and risking it with a game with like I mentioned, Team Fortress 2. You still get something of somewhat value, which makes it a little bit better. But in the end, it's still pretty much gambling. And I think we really should have some stricter laws on it, because if we don't, people are just going to keep getting worse with this shit. Like, okay. So, from Team Fortress 2, the first, big wig loot box thing in the West, to Overwatch. From that 6-year gap, I say 6 years because the 2010 update is when they actually came out. The 6 year gap, there were 15 games created with loot boxes in them. From Overwatch to today, which was just over a year, there have been 22 games added with loot boxes.
Yeah.
So as I said, if we don't do anything, if we don't force them to stop, they're just gonna keep getting worse. Next year, it's gonna be 50 games with fucking loot boxes in them.
But Alex, why would I ever need to stop these loot boxes? I keep milking money off these idiots.
Yeah, like this guy who, for Mass Effect 3's multiplayer, spent $15,000 on multiplayer cards.
Holy fuck. Okay, 1,500 or 15,000?
15,000.
Holy smokes.
I don't even know how you can convince yourself to spend that much on one video game, but
I mean, I'm halfway there with TF2.
Well, the thing is, like,
but I made my money back with TF2.
Obviously, some of it's him to blame, but the game was feeding into his addictive tendencies. He couldn't help himself. He could have played video games, like 5 fucking years ago and not really had to have worried about that shit. But now he has this gambling. He clearly has a gambling problem. So the minute he had a game that was just like it, he just blew all through it. Like these games are, I think both Jimquisition and Total Biscuit said it, are predatory. They're evil. They specifically look for your vulnerability when it comes to your impulsive tendencies and just jump out and bite you in the fucking leg like a fucking wild dog, and they drag you away. They are hunting for you. They don't make money off of like Jimmy spending $10 an update off of crates. They make money off that guy who spends $15,000 in one fucking update. They don't make money off of people. They make money off of addicts. They're predatory. They're evil, and it sickens me. And the thing that sickens me the worst is the new Call of Duty game. That of course has loot boxes in it. Who saw that coming, right? In this game, there's like, I guess, a hub. From what I've seen and what I've gathered, you have like this area where you can just like hang out, and you get loot boxes by them dropping from like the sky, like a parachute, like a supply drop, because it's an army game. You get these loot boxes and you can open them up in front of other players and they can see what you get. Not only is that really, really weird and gross to me, but those players get achievements and little rewards and medals in game for watching people open loot boxes, because they have to feed an incentive to you to watch someone open a loot box, and then you'll be like, well, they got that, well, I should buy some myself too, and it just fucking spreads.
Oh, God, that just feels gross.
It feels gross. It actually feels like, it feels a lot like a very cartoonish, okay, you know Willy Wonka the Chocolate Factory? That evil guy with the hat, who after he's like, I got a golden ticket, runs off, he's like, I'm evil and shit. Why don't you give me that golden ticket? Or the fuck? It feels evil. It feels wrong to be like, hey guys, look how much fun he's having. Don't you wish you could have fun too? It feels like cool kids pressuring you, man.
I'm so glad that your definition of the most evil thing you could think of was that guy from Willy Wonka's and the Chocolate Factory who offered to give Charlie a bunch of money to steal an everlasting gobstopper.
I meant from like a business perspective, cunt.
But anyway, elaborating on the watching people open stuff, another thing that just makes me feel gross is, all right, so last time I took a shit, launched League of Legends. They changed all the IP over, so now everything uses Blue Essence, and I forget it's okay. So basically, when you play a game like Overwatch, it treats you like a child in a crib. So, okay, you just finished a match. Wow, hey, good job for not being a fucking slimy piece of shit. Here's a key for your reward. Oh, you got 3 keys? Boom, big flashing lights. Bing! You got a key. Okay, now buy a box. It's like, it feels incredibly patronizing. Like, hey, here's all these bright, flashing, epic, huge, badass lights.
Well, that's a gambling thing. That's why slot machines, I'm going to keep comparing it to them, have all the big, bright, flashing lights. It's supposed to catch your attention and get you, like, excited. It's why in Shadows of War, when you go to the menu to buy loot boxes, it has this creepy, like skinny ass orc rubbing his hands and shit. It gets you waiting and anticipating. Because it's a very common study thing. It's why there's so many gambling laws in the first place. Is that uh, spending money for an uncertain reward triggers immense dopamine effects into your brain. It's why this loot box gacha phenomenon, I guess I would call it, is spreading so fast right now. Because humans fucking love it. It's the idea of like, oh, I spent $5 and I got 100. Oh man, that's such a good deal. But you forget, your brain will immediately forget all the times you spent $10 and got like $0 back, you know? It just gets really excited when you get that one time it works.
Yeah, I mean, fucking look at me. I've bought 14 keys for this TF2 update. But, in my defense, majority of that money goes to the people who made the items for those crates. So that's what I tell myself.
Well,
now,
again,
I haven't double checked that. I don't even know if that's true. It was true for the Christmas update, but I'm not going to check on these keys because I need an excuse to buy them.
Well, okay, but you know that like Team Fortress 2 probably handled this one of the best ways that any of the loot boxes have done it. Hell, it opens the loot box back then in the least patronizing way. It just did a little countdown and then you opened it. Imagine Team Fortress 2 came out with those now. The box would like shake and spin. No. The box would start like spinning, and then like holes would punch out, and like light would be shining through it and shit, and then it would explode, and then do like the Team Fortress 2 theme, and then the shine would stop, and you just get your shitty fucking Danger Dome.
Here's the dead ringer.
Yeah, you get the idea. Or you get the fucking Texas Slim Dome shine.
But fuck, I mean, even just 2 years ago, when I thought about these loot crate bullshit, I just in the back of my mind just thought, that's a phone game thing, that's a Clash of Clans thing, whatever, you know, it'll never go anywhere. Quote from man who just installed. Okay, well, I installed Fate twice today just so I could roll it and laugh at you.
Yeah, and you ended up getting Siegfried, one of the worst characters to get from the free 10 roll that you start the game with.
But what? So how? So what? So what's this? Tell me a little bit more about Fate here, Alex. Now this plays into the whole loot box bullshit.
Well, good, thank you for bringing that up. So much like how I mentioned that guy spending $15,000 to get Mass Effect multiplayer cards, Big Grand Order, which is a little mobile, like turn-based RPG based in the Fate universe, which is a really, really popular visual novel series, but no one cares about. We're gonna talk about Grand Order. It has a gacha style thing where it's like you spend $20 to get a 10 roll. You'll be guaranteed at least like a 4-star something, whatever it's like, and it's separated by rarities: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars, whatever. You're guaranteed like at least a decent motherfucking card or character. But they have these events that come out. So NA, our version, isn't as updated as the Japanese one. We're getting characters like every like month or so in like these updates and these events. So like say last event, they added Tamamo, a really big popular waifu character in the Fate series. She's that fox girl with the blue robe you've probably seen get posted online all the time. So a lot of people, whether it's online, whether it's on like 4chan's video game board or Reddit's Fate board, will talk about how they're saving up money or saving up their free Saint Quartz, which is the premium currency there, to roll for this character, or characters just like in other events. There was a guy who rolled for a character named Gilgamesh over $1,200 and didn't even get the character. He spent $1,000 on a turn-based mobile RPG that, as Ted said, looks like Adventure Quest, and didn't even get the character he wanted. Then you'll have all these people who are saving up for, like, say, months, because the game hasn't been out a year yet for NA, but like just saving up forever for the event where not only does she come out, but her rate, instead of being a 1%, is like a 3%. It's up. So they just
hold on a second. So she was 1%?
No. All 5-star servants are 1% drop chance.
That's the same percent as a fucking unusual in Team Fortress 2.
Yeah, now you see the problem. But the worst thing is that a 5-star essence is a 4-star. So when there's a rate up, a 5-star servant is still just barely under a 5-star essence. But anyway, so you'll have people just spending thousands in droves, whatever, when these waifus get added. So Tamamo was the big breaking point for a lot of people. There was the guy who said he was going to go kill himself and sent his like suicide letter to the NA company, who gave him, who emailed him back with a suicide hotline. But I actually know someone personally.
Hold on now. Explain that one a little bit more, because what you said there was just guy sent a suicide letter in.
Well, what? He spent
Slow down and explain that one.
Well, a guy really spent a lot of money on Tamamo. It's like a progressive thing. So you can be like, okay, I'm only going to spend $100 and hopefully I get Tamamo. If I don't, then that's okay. Whatever. I'll get other servants. So you don't get your waifu, and then you obviously still want her. So you said, okay, maybe 100 more. Okay, maybe 100 more. Next thing you know, you spent all your money. Because because it gets to the back of your brain, like I mentioned earlier.
SpongeBob, you're spending all me money.
It gets to the back of your brain that like, oh, you think, because you can't see it. You just think to yourself, oh, pseudo RNG. Oh, it's me rubbing my hands. Oh, it's so close, baby. I can feel it. Hit me again. And so you just spend all your money. So this guy spent all of his money and said he was going to go kill himself. So he complained to the company. And they're like, well, the rates are the way they are. We tell you that directly, and please don't kill yourself. Here's a suicide hotline if you need someone to talk to about it. But I know a person personally, a friend of mine, who is a really big fan of Tamamo, and he spent an undisclosed amount of money, because he will not tell me, to get his waifu. And I was there live for the progressive, like, sadness. Like, it's like, okay, I spent $100 on St. Quartz, time to roll, and, after, like, half an hour, you hear, like, the depression and the sadness in his voice and in his soul. He's dead inside, because he knows he's gonna try again. He said he's not going to, but he's full of shit. The minute he says, like, yeah, I didn't get her, but hey, I got a Heracles, that's pretty good, and I also got, some other random servants, I don't remember what he said. I also got, like, this, I got a Kaleidoscope, you know what, that's pretty good, I'm okay, I'll get to Tamamo later when she comes out again. 10 minutes later, he comes back, so I roll again, and I actually got pretty good shit this time, I'm really feeling it, and it's just... So he spent a lot of money. I just remember he just left for, like, a day. And I figure, like, man, he must be really depressed he didn't get that. The worst part is, too, is that another friend of mine, my buddy, got Tamamo off of just a random, like, 20 roll. So, that probably fueled it a lot. When you spend, like, 100 and don't get shit, and your friend spends chump change and gets exactly what she wanted. So he went nuts and spent a shitload of money, and he did eventually get her. But all I think to myself is, I was your quote, man, this game looks like Adventure Quest. Why the fuck would people spend so much money? Like, I've wailed a little bit, but I'm more like a dolphin. I've spent just, like, under $100, and I luckily got my 5-star waifu Attila.
Wait, you just said that you were like a dolphin?
It's fish, dolphin, whale. People who spend lots of money on these RNG-based, like, loot box or gacha games are called whales. I don't know why, I'm just rolling with it.
Oh, they're called a whale because they just have you can... Well, no, you can't milk. Can you milk a whale?
I don't know.
I'm not going to Google. Okay, Google. Can I milk a whale?
Okay. So someone who's a little more knowledgeable of this shit, because I'm not the smartest motherfucker in the world, can tell me why they're called whales and dolphins and shit, where this ocean thing came from, please let me know. But anyway, that's what they're called. So, like, I luckily got my, like, 5-star waifu. Oh, another friend of mine, when this character called Waver came out, who's a really powerful, like, support character, so he can just give you, like, your ultimate meter. When he came out, my friend spent over $300 for him and didn't get it. Think about that.
God.
Think about, like he accepted that idea of spending that much money to get the character he really wanted in this fucking mobile game. And then when you hear that, then you look over at what Sony says of Sony has its best fiscal year ever thanks to Fate Grand Order. And you're like, yeah, that's why, isn't it? Because people want their waifus or want their, like, their super good waivers or their Merlins, and they fucking just spend thousands of dollars on this shit for a game that's probably not really worth that much money.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, yeah, I've fallen for it too. I just checked right now. Okay, so not counting the times. Okay, so with TF2, the money I've made out of it is 450 from my unusuals and about 700 from my strange festive set, and then other various things that I've sold, random keys and whatever. So I've made what 450 plus 700. I've made about 1150, a little over 1,000. But I've spent, and this isn't counting me buying keys off the gray market, off Source OP, or when I bought $25 of dual tokens that 3 years later, I am not even a third of the way through. Just through the official Manco store. Not even fucking counting the marketplace. On the Manco store, I've spent $575 on TF2, a free-to-play game. $575 on TF2. Now let's add another 200 for the marketplace. So $775 on TF2. Let's add unofficial purchases, about $1,000 on TF2. I may have barely made back my money after doing these huge, because I'm lucky, because I was lucky enough to get these hats. I was lucky enough to know what I was doing. I was lucky enough to totally fucking scam some idiot for his strange festive items. I just barely made out a little bit more. Like if I didn't make these fucking big trades, I would be so far deep into this. So I've fallen for this fucking hardcore with TF2
because it gets you. It gets the little bit in the back of your human brain that loves this shit. It's scary, and I'm saying it. It's predatory.
Because I think, oh man, because here's what'll happen. Oh man, I can't wait to open up this crate and get an unusual. And then when I look in the marketplace, the unusuals now, because the TF2 market has crashed, let's say I'm moderately lucky. I get an unusual taunt. If it's a really good taunt, $50. That's it. $50. I've spent 14 keys on this, $2.50 for each key. That's like, it's not worth it. I know in the back of my mind, I'm not even, even if I get an unusual right now, I'll just barely break even after spending all this shit. So what do I get in the end of it? I'll get a hat that's going to drop to 25 cents in a month. Like fuck it, but yeah, if it gets its claws into you, it's like a fucking rat in a cage. It's why Valve has a fucking economist and a psychologist on staff to try and find ways to do this. Okay. So TF2 weapon skins, that's the thing they added now. So before in TF2, here was the rarity of things that you will get. Best of the best, when you open a crate, you got an unusual. Secondary, you got a really cool hat. Third, you got a weapon that tracks your kills. Now, with these crates, you open them up. They got two different series. One of them is the community ones, which are the ones that I like to open, where it's just community hats. But so you open a crate and you get a weapon paint. Now, that paint has factory new, minimal wear, field tested, battle scarred. You got 4 or 5. I might be missing one. You got 4 or 5 different types of that skin, and it could be strange, and it could be unusual. So let's say you get real lucky and you get an unusual one. Oh, but the skin is absolute garbage. Oh, you got one that's really nice and it's factory new, but it's not strange. So it adds even more rarities and more to the chase there, because, okay, say that I got my unusual, like, oh, fuck yeah, I got an unusual shotgun. Pew, pew, yeah, fuck yeah. Oh, but this is battle scarred, and it's not strange. So maybe I'm gonna keep on trying, see if I can get a strange one, because even then the fucking odds for that are so minuscule, and that's where the tipping point for me for these things. Like, I don't think I'm going to buy any more of these. The only keys I'm going to buy TF2 in the future, because I am going to, are going to be just community keys, because like that feels real fucking skeevy. Adding these multiple layers of rarity onto this bullshit, and it feels gross, but I ain't gonna fucking stop. It's not gonna happen. I'll try, but I'm gonna buy those fucking keys.
So, it's a very, very scary thing. And the scariest thing about this is that it's actually transitioning out of video games just barely. G2A is a game key reseller. They started selling bundled games in a lootbox style format. So
what?
So hear this out. Yeah, you didn't see this one coming, did you? So you know how like the humble bundle, you spend like $5 and you get like these 5 shitty games no one cares about, right? So imagine if you spent only $2 to get one of these random 6 games, one of which might be like The Witcher 3, but the other one might be motherfucking Bad Rats. Why don't you take dare you try the mystery box? And
Oh my god.
so yes, it's already come to this, Tad. We've already have game key distributors doing this shit. But also, I'm sure everyone's heard of this by now. Twitch back in Halloween loot boxed temporary emotes for Halloween. I want you to process that for a second. So you could spend money to buy loot boxes to get like a zombie Frankerzier or a zombie like Kappa or Kappa, whatever the fuck its stupid fucking thing is called. The stupid gray smiling face, I don't care. You can get like a zombie version of that in a loot box that was like temporary because it was Halloween. You just gambled for something that stayed for like 2 days.
That's some Nexon level garbage.
So, yeah, it's moving out of just video games, and I think we need to, stop it now before it gets to everything. I don't want to go to Walmart and put $5 in to maybe get a bottle of ketchup, or maybe get a burrito, or maybe get a stick of gum. I want to be able to buy what I want, okay?
But Alex, what if I go on Amazon and I give them $2 and I get a random movie?
What if I give them $2 and I get a Blue Yeti microphone? What a steal!
Yeah, I know, right? It'll be totally worth it. But Alex,
totally
here's the
worth
real
it.
Question. Alex, what can I do to stop this? Is there anything I could do at all?
Well, voting with your wallet's not going to do shit because mindless people are just going to do it anyway. So, credit to the government, maybe they'll save us with more harsher gambling laws. Because that's pretty much all we can do. Like, unless you put a gun to their head, they're not going to stop. Like, they're just going to find more loopholes like Blizzard did with China to just keep doing this shit. Because, as Take-Two said, it is the way of the future. This is the new season pass. This is the new online pass. This is the new horse armor. It's not going away. Like, DLC has just evolved to be even shittier. So we have to put a gun to their head, or we should say, we have to put a gun to the government's head, who then has to put a gun to their head to make them stop. So once we have this, like, and
no,
then,
Alex,
game devs already
I have to put a gun to the government's head, who puts a gun to the developer, who takes a golden, strange, unusual gun, or a gun to the publisher, who takes a golden, strange, unusual gun to the developer. Hold on, I got this mixed up. There's too many guns.
No, it's like Mexican standoff. It's like that scene in Reservoir Dogs. Don't you dare put that fucking gun at my dad! And they all just start shooting each other, and that's pretty much the gaming industry right now. It's hell. And
I mean, at least we can guarantee on one thing: Nintendo is always like 14 years behind. So Nintendo God, fuck! What if Splatoon 2 has an update where they add these fucking things?
No. Okay. So Nintendo, as I mentioned in the previous video when I briefly talked about like Mario Odyssey and shit, Nintendo does adapt to shit because they are doing like DLC since the Wii U, but they only do it when they are for sure it's not a passing fad of like marketability. Like, they wait like a full-on decade. Like, is DLC really the way of the future? Is this really gonna make us look good? We have to wait. So when everyone else is starting to do all this other shit, then they're like, okay, here's some DLC. Now, they release DLC, but they still look better than everyone else by doing it, because they release, like, I guess, more fair price DLC in finger quotes. Like, they're still doing the same shit, they're just doing it nicer. So Nintendo will eventually adapt and start doing loot boxes, probably in like 2 or 3 years. Splatoon 3 is gonna have loot boxes if they stick around. Fucking mark my words, all right? And even if they're not like DLC loot boxes, they're gonna have some kind of random generated bullshit in them. Don't worry. Don't you fucking worry, Tad.
But Alex, so even if Nintendo's not safe, I can at least kind of sit with indie games, right? They don't have the infrastructure for loot boxes.
Not yet, but they will. Everyone's gonna do it. It's the way of the future. Quote from Take-Two.
Alright, well, on that happy note, I guess we're all fucked. Everything's fucked. Video games are dead, and it's your fault.
Forces them with a gun to their head. Yeah, we're pretty much just screwed, and it's scary.
It's gonna be a fun... I mean, this is what happens when Trump is president. Woo! Woo! 14 minutes of uninterrupted cheering and whooping. But yeah, that'll go ahead, and I guess that'll do it for this cheerful episode here. So, my name's Tad. That there was Aleks. His doomsayer outfit chanting in the streets about the death of all.
I'm that guy at RuneScape. Just, hey, Doombringer, what are you bringing to us today? Doom! Yes.
The most obscure fucking RuneScape reference.
What, you don't remember that? I remember playing RuneScape like once with my friends after like a decade of not playing it, walking up to the guy and just saying that line. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then I left.
Anyway, so you can find the show on on YouTube, iTunes, and Google Play. You can find links to all that bullshit on the website, which is lmtya.com. You can find us on Twitter at LetMeTellYouPD. You can also find us on the Discord, which is in the description, and on Patreon. But I fucking hate you so much, Aleks.
I did literally nothing wrong.
Just like the game industry.